A band credits a drum machine like it is an actual member, covers Kraftwerk as if the song wandered into a steel mill, and writes one of the nastiest slow-burn tracks in underground rock. Welcome to Music Story Time, where we gently kidnap your algorithm and introduce it to better taste and music. Enjoy the background music in the free usage playlist, you dirty scoundrels. Now continuing today's focus music band, Big Black. That is Big Black, and this gets zany in the most hostile possible way. Not party hat zany. More like somebody replaced the house wiring with exposed nerves and then dared the amplifier to complain. Big Black began as Steve Albini's project, but it quickly mutated into something nastier and more exact. This was not sloppy chaos. This was engineered abrasion. The guitars sounded scraped raw, the rhythms hit with machine precision, and the whole thing felt less like a band jamming in a room than a factory deciding it had opinions about human behavior. Even the drum machine got treated like a proper presence, credited as Roland, which is one of the funniest and most perfect details in rock history. Of course, Big Black would give the machine a name. It had earned it. Start with Kerosene, because if you want the full Big Black experience, you may as well walk straight into the fire. This song has that incredible, unnerving repetition that feels physical and psychological at once. The riff grinds forward, the tension keeps tightening, and by the time it has fully sunk its teeth in, the whole track feels like it is vibrating through the walls rather than merely playing through speakers. It is one of those songs that makes Menace sound patient, which is somehow worse, much worse. Then there is Jordan, Minnesota, which opens Atomizer by kicking the door off the hinges and throwing your comfort out after it. Big Black were never interested in being merely provocative for decoration. They wanted the subject matter to sting, to unsettle, to force a reaction. This track is a brutal example of that instinct, and it tells you immediately what kind of band you are dealing with. No warm-up lap, no little nod to accessibility, just a hard shove into the ugliest corners of American reality. If you want to understand why Big Black still polarizes people, start here. And then comes The Model, which is one of the great sideways swerves in their catalog. Taking Kraftwerk and feeding it through the Big Black machine is such a wonderfully ugly, brilliant idea. The original has cool detachment. Big Black turned it into something more corroded, more sarcastic, more like a nightclub built inside an abandoned loading dock. This is where the band's sly humor shows up. Beneath all the damage, there is a real wit to what they do. They are not just pounding everything flat. They know exactly how absurd and sharp their choices are. That is part of what makes Big Black so fascinating. They were terrifyingly controlled. The noise was precise. The ugliness was curated. The whole thing was built with enough intent that even the most savage moments feel designed rather than spilled. And for all the heaviness, there is something almost wickedly playful in how they assembled the machine. A drum machine with a stage name, song titles like Industrial Warnings, a band that seemed to look at ordinary rock structure and decide it needed fewer feelings and more blunt force. So when you line up Kerosene, Jordan, Minnesota, and The Model, you get three perfect angles on Big Black. One is the slow-burning nightmare, one is the warning label, one is the acid grin. Together they show a band that made noise feel architectural, discomfort feel deliberate, and machine dread feel weirdly catchy, like the soundtrack to a city block where every streetlight buzzes, every window watches, and the rhythm section has already decided mercy is overrated.